Millions of people endure the crippling stress of financial struggle, believing that their lack of savings and growing debt are permanent traps. To fix this, we often exhaust ourselves trying to work harder, chase higher salaries, or obsess over budgeting, unaware that our deeply ingrained scarcity mindset is secretly pushing money away. In Countdown to Riches, Rhonda Byrne reveals that the true cause of our financial pain is actually our own thoughts, offering a powerful 21-day program to completely reprogram your subconscious mind for abundance. By listening to this book, you will discover simple daily habits like transforming your outgoing expenses into incoming wealth and using the Boomerang Effect that magically multiply your money. Click to learn how to instantly shift your frequency from lack to prosperity, master the universal law of attraction, and manifest the lasting financial freedom you truly deserve.
Wow, yeah, that is a heavy but really necessary promise to start us off.
It really is. So welcome, everyone, to today's deep dive. We all know the basics of the law of attraction, right? Like, you've probably read the books, you understand the core concepts of manifestation, and you generally know that your thoughts shape your reality.
The foundational stuff.
Exactly. But what we're unpacking today from Rhonda Byrne's Countdown to Riches is how to take those high-level concepts and, I guess, gamify the absolute micro moments of your day.
Yeah.
We're getting out of the theoretical into the trenches of your daily financial habits to see how a structured, 21-day approach can literally alter your financial trajectory.
It's great to be here exploring this with you. Because what makes this specific program so compelling for those of us who already study mindset and wealth is, well, it bridges the gap between abstract philosophy and actual cognitive behavioral psychology.
Right. Yeah.
We aren't just talking about, sitting on a cushion and wishing for a bag of money to fall from the sky.
Which would be nice, but...
Right, sure. But we're looking at aggressive, deliberate pattern interruption. The goal is to completely dismantle the neurological framework of scarcity that most of us honestly don't even realize is running in the background of our minds.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with lesson 1, mindset as the foundation of wealth. Byrne uses this brilliant analogy right out of the gate. She says our minds are like a hyper-precise photocopy machine.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Right. It's so vivid. Whatever you put on the scanner glass, whether it's an image of the massive success you want or an image of the crippling debt you're just terrified of, the machine doesn't judge.
It doesn't care at all.
Not at all. It just scans the image and replicates it with absolute precision into your life circumstances.
That photocopy analogy is incredibly accurate when you look at how the brain actually functions. Think about the reticular activating system, or the RAS, in your brainstem.
Right, the filter.
Exactly. Its entire job is to filter the millions of bits of data around you and only let through what you've deemed important. So if you're constantly stressing about not having enough money to pay rent, you're essentially pressing the print button on a scarcity document.
Oh, yeah.
Your RAS then scans your environment solely for evidence that confirms you are broke, which physically blinds you to potential opportunities, side hustles, or investments that are sitting right in front of you.
Which is terrifying when you realize how much of our day is spent just, dwelling on the negative.
Absolutely.
But that leads us directly into lesson 2, the 21-day habit transformation. We've all heard the old adage that it takes 21 days to build a habit.
Right.
And Byrne structures this entire wealth-building protocol around a 3-week timeline to permanently change the input on that photocopy machine.
And 21 days is really significant from a neuroplasticity standpoint.
Mm.
When you spend 30 or 40 years reacting to bills with anxiety, you have a neural pathway that resembles a paved superhighway.
A very fast, very efficient superhighway of panic.
Exactly. To break that default network, you need sustained daily repetition to forge a completely new pathway. The habits we're about to dive into are designed to let that old superhighway of financial panic slowly turn into like an overgrown dirt road from lack of use.
While you build a new neural superhighway of abundance.
Precisely.
So if we're actively trying to pave a new highway, where do we actually start? Well, day 1 of the program hits us with lesson 4, clarifying financial desires.
This is a crucial step.
It is, and the first exercise is creating your wish list. But it's not just some vague, oh, I want to be rich statement. You have to write down at least 20 specific things you want, complete with estimated price tags.
Specificity is key here.
Yeah, it could be getting an $8,300 credit card balance cleared, buying a $70 raincoat you saw online, or landing a new role with a $100,000 salary. You mix the mundane with the massive.
What's fascinating here is the psychology behind this. Byrne discusses how society is essentially plagued by a don't want epidemic.
I don't want epidemic. I love that phrasing.
Right. We are socially conditioned to bond over our shared miseries. We stand in line at the grocery store and complain, "Can you believe the price of eggs right now?" Or, "Man, I am so broke this month."
It's small talk.
Exactly, it's a survival mechanism. Our brains are like Velcro for negative experiences to keep us safe. By forcing yourself to sit down and itemize 20 highly specific things you genuinely desire, you are forcefully shifting your mental frequency out of that epidemic.
You're giving the RAS new instructions.
A brand new set of instructions.
I have to say, I catch myself participating in that don't want epidemic all the time. It almost feels socially awkward sometimes to talk about what you do want because people might think you're bragging.
Or delusional.
Right. But writing it down privately bypasses that social friction. And once you know what you want, you really have to tackle how you feel when money leaves your hands. Which brings us to lesson 8, emotional regulation for financial decisions.
This is where the cognitive behavioral intervention really kicks into high gear.
Right. So this is day 2 of the program called Turn Outgoing Money into Incoming Money. Byrne uses the super relatable example of paying $85 for gas.
We've all been there.
Usually there's that physical wince. You swipe the card, you see the number go up, and your stomach drops a little bit. But the instruction here is that instead of feeling the pain of the expense, you mentally say, cha-ching. And actually imagine receiving that $85.
When you first hear that, it sounds completely counterintuitive, doesn't it?
I'm going to be honest, it sounds a bit like toxic positivity.
Like that.
Like, practically speaking, when someone is staring down an $800 electric bill they genuinely cannot afford, pretending to yell, cha-ching feels like a massive cognitive leap. How do we bridge that gap without it just feeling like we are lying to ourselves?
That is a phenomenal question.
Yeah.
And it's the exact hurdle most people face with manifestation. The key here isn't to lie about your bank balance. The key is to interrupt a chemical stress response.
Okay, walk me through that.
When you wince at that electric bill, your body releases cortisol. You enter a fight or flight state. Universal law, or if you prefer, your own subconscious operating system doesn't respond to the physical transaction of the credit card.
It responds to the feeling.
It responds to the physiological state you are in. By intentionally saying cha-ching, even if it feels a bit ridiculous at first, you act as a circuit breaker for that cortisol spike.
Oh, okay.
You stop the emotional resistance that keeps you trapped in a survival mindset. And that is the exact mindset that prevents you from seeing creative solutions to pay that bill in the first place.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a pattern interrupt. You're confusing your brain in a good way, and the practice gets even more gamified from there.
It does.
Once you get used to the cha-ching, you are supposed to level up the habit by adding a 0. So that $85 gas bill, you don't just imagine receiving $85, you imagine receiving $850.
A huge jump.
Yeah. An $800 electric bill becomes an imaginary deposit of $8,000. You basically turn paying your bills into a dopamine-generating game.
It leverages game theory perfectly. By adding the 0, you shift the brain's focus entirely away from the loss and redirect it toward a massive, exciting gain.
You're tricking it.
You are tricking your subconscious into feeling wealthy during the exact moments you used to feel the most vulnerable and poor. And because the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined event and reality, it starts adapting your baseline mood to match this new wealthy reality.
Which is a perfect segue into how we permanently install that new baseline. Let's look at Lesson 5, internalizing beliefs through affirmations, and Lesson 9, rewiring beliefs via repetition.
These two go hand in hand.
They really do.
But,
Byrne reminds us that our minds are essentially running outdated childhood software. We've all heard the classics. Money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy, or you have to work to the bone to make a living.
the classics indeed.
To rewrite that code, we need new software. And that comes via targeted affirmations and the Boomerang Effect.
The Boomerang Effect is a brilliant visualization of a cognitive feedback loop. Every thought you have is a boomerang. You throw out the belief, I have to struggle to survive, and because of confirmation bias, that boomerang flies out into the world.
And it picks up evidence.
It picks up every single piece of evidence that proves life is a struggle and smacks you right back in the face with it.
Exactly. So to throw a new boomerang, you use affirmations. But not just casually thinking them once in a while. The book suggests writing phrases like, money flows to me effortlessly, or money sticks to me on Post-it notes.
Physical reminders.
Yeah, you put them on your bathroom mirror, your laptop, your car dashboard. It even suggests falling asleep to audio affirmations. Why the aggressive repetition?
Because repetition is the exact mechanism that installed the limiting beliefs in the first place. You didn't hear, money doesn't grow on trees just once as a kid.
No, you heard it constantly.
You heard it hundreds of times over a decade. When you deliberately read a new truth 3 times in a row,
Oh.
say, changing the old belief to money comes to me from every direction, you are starving the old neural pathway of attention.
Making it that dirt road again.
Exactly. The repetition forces the brain to start heavily myelinating the new pathway. Eventually, the old scarcity boomerang simply stops returning because you stop throwing it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. It's not just about repeating words. Lesson 6 dives into active visualization. The text details a 60-second exercise that I absolutely love.
A mental photograph one.
Yes. You look at your wish list, pick 3 desires, and then you close your eyes and pretend you just bought them. You visualize owning them for exactly 60 seconds. You feel the texture of the steering wheel of a new car, or you feel the relief of looking at a zero balance on your credit card statement. And then you snap a mental photograph of yourself in that moment. It takes just 3 concentrated minutes a day.
This taps into a concept in behavioral psychology known as future self-continuity. Humans are notoriously bad at making decisions for their future selves because, neurologically, our brains view our future selves as complete strangers.
We'd rather just have the immediate gratification now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you spend 60 highly focused seconds vividly visualizing yourself possessing those desires, and you snap that mental photograph, you are closing the gap. You're making your future self feel like your present self.
And taking that visualization out of your head and putting it into the physical world makes it even stronger. Day 12 of the program introduces the Money Vision Board. You're instructed to create a board dripping with images of wealth, along with 20 specific dollar amounts ranging from $5 up to $100,000. As you manifest one amount, you replace it.
Vision boards often get dismissed as just arts and crafts. But remember, the subconscious mind communicates almost exclusively in symbols and pictures, not in written language.
That's a great point.
Every time you walk past that board in your hallway, even if you just catch it in your peripheral vision, you are downloading a wealthy symbol set directly into your subconscious.
There is a wild anecdote in the source material to back this up. It's about John Assaraf, who was featured in The Secret. He had created a vision board and put a picture of a very specific, beautiful mansion on it.
I love this story.
It's crazy. 5 years go by, he moves a few times, packs the board in a box, and totally forgets about it. He ends up buying a new house, and while he's unpacking boxes in the new place, he finds the old vision board.
And he looks at the picture.
He looks at it and realizes he had unknowingly purchased the exact house from the picture, literally the exact same house. His conscious mind forgot, but his subconscious was just running in the background making it happen.
That story perfectly illustrates a core tenet of this entire philosophy.
Yeah.
It is not your job to figure out the how.
We always get stuck on the how.
We do.
Yeah.
But the how is the domain of the reticular activating system in universal law. Your only job is to provide the blueprint of the what. When Assaraf put that picture up, he handed the blueprint to his subconscious, which then quietly steered his micro-decisions over 5 years until he was sitting in the living room of that exact house.
That's mind-blowing. But to supercharge that blueprint, we have to look at segment 3, the multiplier effect. This covers lesson 3, reversing scarcity with gratitude, and lesson 7, the power of generosity.
2 very powerful shifts.
The author points to a passage from an ancient text that has confused people for centuries. It essentially says, whoever has will be given more, and whoever does not have, even what they have, will be taken from them. Sounds incredibly unfair until you realize there's a hidden word that decodes the entire thing.
The hidden word is gratitude. Whoever has gratitude will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude, even what they have will be taken from them. Gratitude is the single fastest way to multiply your money because it is the ultimate signal to your nervous system that you currently have enough.
You can't be grateful and terrified at the same time.
You cannot feel deep gratitude and deep financial panic at the exact same moment. They are biologically incompatible states.
To make this practical, the book has you reflect on your childhood abundance. I found this exercise so eye-opening. You think back to when you were young and tally of all the free abundance you received. You had dentist visits paid for, hot meals on the table, clothes on your back, hot water in your shower.
Family vacations, maybe?
Yeah, all of that cost a fortune, and you received it completely free of charge. Recognizing that you have actually lived a life overflowing with funded abundance shifts your perspective immediately.
It creates an evidentiary foundation. You are proving to your skeptical mind that you have already been a magnet for wealth in the past, and that you lock that feeling in with a daily morning habit.
Setting the tone for the day.
Right. As soon as you wake up, before the stress of the day can set in, you mentally say, thank you for all the money coming into my life 10 times.
But then we get to lesson 7, which I think is going to challenge a lot of people, the power of generosity. The text explains that one of the most powerful practices to shift out of a scarcity mindset is to actively give money away. Wait, giving money away to get more money. When you are stressed about rent, giving away $50 feels reckless.
It feels extremely reckless to the amygdala,
What?
which is the fear center of the brain.
Mm.
But if we look at the psychological mechanics of it, it makes profound sense.
How so?
Scarcity is characterized by clinging, hoarding, and fear. When you take a $20 bill and give it to someone else, or buy a coffee for the person behind you in line, you are sending a massive, undeniable physical signal to your subconscious that there's more than enough.
Because you wouldn't give it away if there wasn't.
Exactly. You cannot give freely if you truly believe you are destitute. By acting generously, you override the amygdala's alarm bells. You are literally embodying the frequency of wealth. You are proving to yourself that you are a distributor of abundance, not just a desperate consumer of it.
You are acting like a wealthy person right now, which forces your reality to catch up. I love that. So we've talked about asking for what you want, rewiring the brain's baseline, and using gratitude and generosity as multipliers. This brings us to our final segment, mastering the present and designing the future. This is lesson 10, aligning action with abundance.
Bringing it all together.
Day 17 of the program introduces the practice of intending your life. Instead of waking up and just letting the day happen to you, getting battered around by traffic, rude emails, and unexpected expenses, you set intentions for everything.
It's the difference between living by design versus existing by default.
Right.
If you walk into a meeting or log into your bank account by default, you are at the mercy of whatever residual stress you carried over from breakfast. But if you take 10 seconds to intend the outcome in advance, I intend for this bank transfer to feel empowering, or I intend for this client call to be incredibly lucrative, you are proactively putting the image on the scanner glass before the event even begins.
And to do that, you have to be awake to the moment. Day 20 focuses on awareness with the mantra, remember to remember. When we go on autopilot, the news, the economy, and our own inner critics start feeding thousands of negative thoughts into our minds. We slip back into the don't want epidemic without even realizing it.
The simple, powerful fix provided here is the pattern interrupt of asking yourself, am I aware? Throughout the day.
Just a quick check-in.
The very second you ask that question, your mind snaps back to the present moment. You pull your energy out of regretting the past or catastrophizing about the future. The present moment is the only place where you have the agency to choose a thought of abundance.
And once you have mastered pulling yourself back to the present, you are finally ready to design the ultimate future. The culmination of the program, Day 21, is the 5-year manifestation.
This is where it gets big.
You sit down with a journal and write out a bold, detailed, believable description of your financial situation exactly 5 years from now. You describe the exact salary you are earning, the investments you hold, the house you live in, and the lifestyle you are enjoying. But the golden rule here is that you write this without worrying for a single second about how it will happen.
That is the hardest part for high achievers to let go of. We want to write the 5-year plan and then immediately create a spreadsheet detailing the micro steps to get there.
Oh, I am definitely guilty of the spreadsheet.
We all are.
Right.
But again, the how is the domain of the universal law. Your job is simply the blueprint. By writing out the what clearly and feeling the emotional reality of it as if it is already done, you complete the creation process. You ask, you believe, and through these 21 days of habits, you get yourself into the frequency to receive.
So, what does this all mean for you listening right now? The most liberating, paradigm-shifting takeaway from this deep dive is that your financial reality is not a life sentence handed down by your boss, the global economy, or your current credit score.
Not at all.
Your entire financial life is being actively generated by the thoughts sitting in your mind right this very second. You have absolute power to change those thoughts. Tomorrow morning, you can choose to say cha-ching at the gas pump. You can choose to reflect on the immense childhood abundance you've already received. You can choose to intercept a thought of panic and replace it with money flows to me effortlessly.
It's a profound realization of personal responsibility, which is ultimately the greatest form of personal power.
Absolutely.
I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you step back into your day. We spent this time dissecting the reality that your mind is a universal photocopy machine that never ever unplugs. It is scanning and printing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So ask yourself this right now. What image did you just leave on the scanner glass today? And are you truly ready for it to be printed into your reality tomorrow?
Thank you for watching, Laura. Please like, share, subscribe, follow up in next video.